can't be in a classroom with a phone, and which we had that. I had my cell phone in my high school classes, and sometimes I'd play Snake. And it's just a temptation, right? It's a very big temptation, and the phones could do a lot more now than what they were able to do then. And if I spent 5 minutes in class playing Snake and then getting bored and going back to work, the kids now, they can watch YouTube videos, they can watch Twitch, they can play video games. I mean, you could play just as almost, there's a lot of video games that you can play on your mobile. Minecraft, I mean, geez, so it's hard, right? Basically, we were giving something very small, and look at what I did. I spent 5 minutes in class doing something I wasn't supposed to. Now they get something big. Basically, you're giving them every answer in your phone, and you expect them not to get distracted. Like, and I know that you're not, like they say, turn your cell phones off in class or don't even bring them to school, whatever rules you have. But guess what? Like I said, teenagers adapt. They'll figure out how to get it there. And I don't know where I was leading with this, but as somebody that's a bridge between these two generations, like my parents' generation, which both my parents barely know how to type. My mom can't type. My dad had taken some classes, some math classes later on for work, I think. And so he got he got to learn typing a little bit. So he's pretty good with the mouse and the keyboard. My mom can't use either of them that well. And, but even though my dad can use those, like, there's just too much. Like, the computer's just too much. Like, he wants to get online to look up how to do something, and there's just too much. You Google how to fix the head gasket to a Nissan whatever, and he goes to look that up, and there's just buy this part, here's a video on this, like, it's just too much information. Like, so like, there's like, see, my brother's born a couple years after me, and he can almost not, like, his phone is like attached to him, like, he's just like all the time. So, but I would even say even after him, because like he like breaks his phones a lot, and he goes without his phones for a while, and he might hate it, but he can do it, and he kind of just finds other things to consume his time. But there's, like, right now I'm seeing with my niece, is she's seeing people with the phones a lot, and she wants to be picking up the phone, and she's only 3 years old. So there's this generation where there's like my mom and dad's generation, right? This older generation, and then there's this younger generation. What the heck did I just do there? And then there's my generation, right? And we're this gap. We know how it is without, and we know what it's like with. These people barely know how to do, they don't really know how it is with, right? They're coming to me in order to bridge that gap. They're like, we don't know how to do this. Can you do this? You know, can you pay our bills online? Can you, whatever. Right? And then the younger generation, they don't know like how it is without, which is I think is probably the worst part, because you can learn to use, but you can't you can't revert back. You can't go without. Not now. Not in this day and age. You can't go without. Right? They're going to be learning to research things, learning to type right away. Like, these are things that they learn to do at a younger age. And I feel as this bridge generation that I think I have insight that a lot of other generations don't. And I don't know. I think that there's a time and place for things, but just as somebody that's in between, like I have an insight that these other generations don't, and part of the insight is I've seen this change, right? I've seen how it is without and how it is, and I see how with it, with the internet, with technology, how much faster life is on this side than it was on this side. And being practical and being business minded, especially, I've kind of always been business minded, and I think that working for another company at a certain point has to stop. I think that if you can, you need to find a group of friends that are trying to start a business and work with them, or family members, or come up with your own ideas, because anymore it's almost devastating to you. Like that you're hoping that whatever company you work for doesn't go bankrupt, that it goes in the right direction, that it doesn't lay people off, that they like you enough to keep you around and not replace you. There's just so many things that you have out of your control. So living behind glowing screens, that's a thing. People do that. People live behind screens all the time. I mean, geez, I have 3 right here. Well, 4 with my mobile phone. So I think that eventually things are going to be so fast, so complicated, that you have to be able to bet on yourself. You have to be able to take your own insight. You have to be able to be your own start your own business, have your own ideas. And that's kind of the place that I'm at right now, where I'm just like, I'll work for somebody else if I have to, but right now I don't have to. But if the necessity ever arises, then I have to be ready to adapt to that situation. I didn't realize that there was anybody in here watching me. How are you guys doing? Watching me go over and over again on the same head as I blab my mouth. These are the references that I'm using right here. I was doing these ones. I still need lots of practice. I'm good. I've been streaming between like 10 and 30 minutes recently, kind of just starting. And this has been almost 2 hours. I haven't streamed this long in a while, or ever, to be honest. And so I'm just practicing, and actually I'm gonna have to get ready to go to the gym here in a little bit. I'm gonna have to do stretching and have my pre-workout food. Hopefully you guys are having a good Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Yeah, I guess it does. Like I said, I'm gonna need some food here. Should probably be drinking some water. Keep hydrated. Do you stream? Probably end this after this one. Nice. Are you streaming creative or in gaming? Yeah, I just started a couple weeks ago to try to, like I was saying earlier, is I found in college that it helped me learn by teaching other people, and while I'm not the best, I do get tips, and I can put them in I can phrase them differently than other people, and that's what I found in college is helped a lot of people, is that I phrase things differently than others did. And so a lot of times people would come to me for help. And so I'm hoping that as I practice and people come in and learn, I can help them and help myself at the same time. You do both? Mostly in creative. Oh yeah. What do you do? Traditional? Digital? Absolutely. Absolutely. To get on a schedule and then to regularly practice, that's, you're right, it helps a lot. My goal right now is just to get at least 30 minutes in a day. My hope is to kind of do 2 hours a day eventually, between like 2 and 4. That's usually the best times for me, where I'm the least distracted. When I started watching the creative stuff, I gravitated toward traditional artists more. I don't know if I like watching the digital stuff as much. I am interested in doing some digital, but I know right now this is what I want to be practicing. I think digital comes down to learning the tool, whatever program you're going to use, learning hotkeys and stuff like that. And then once you do that, I think that it's a lot easier to pick up traditional, or to pick up digital. And I think a lot of obviously like gesture drawing and stuff is going to help if you switch to digital. How long have you been streaming?